time you have a lot of limitation, and then you got another choice which give you a lot of freedom. That's why you also have a lot of supporters of Samsung.
What do you make of the possibility for Microsoft and Nokia to make a comeback during the absence of, Samsung, which is licking its wounds?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is a great opportunity for Microsoft to do well. I think Microsoft's got its own issues. They're hooked up with Nokia, and they don't maybe have the same amount of distributors as Apple does, or as some of the competitors do, certainly as Samsung does. So, I mean, this is a great. Anytime this happens, there's a chance for other people to move up. I mean, who would have thought years ago that Google was going to buy Motorola? I mean, it was unthinkable. Who was going to think that Nokia, which was the market leader here in China, certainly was one day not going to be the market leader? So I think that there's always movement, and I think that what's going to be led by innovation. I still am optimistic about the idea of patents. I don't think patents should be thrown out the door. I don't think intellectual property protection should be. I think that this is just going to motivate people to do better, and it's, hopefully the consumer will benefit.
We're going to wait to see and figure out whether the latest verdict of the U.S. court will seriously undermine the dynamics in this highly competitive iPhone industry of the world. You are watching Dialogue with Luca Liu and Edward Lehman. We are talking about the latest verdict about Samsung losing to iPhone. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. What does the verdict of the U.S. court mean for the Chinese? Because our country is known recently for having the biggest number of copyright applicants and trademarks. We surpassed Japan in Asia. Luca.
Yeah. Well, the Chinese manufacturers, the Chinese companies, they need to be really careful. I think this kind of like precedent case, and as you mentioned before, this is probably just a corner of the iceberg. It's going to be a series of litigations. It could be the Chinese company involved, and also I think a lot of Chinese companies are talking about going abroad to have international brands. And intellectual property right is one of the first things they should really watch out.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic, Yang Rui. I mean, it's fantastic for Chinese and for the Chinese consumer and for Chinese innovators as well. I think it shows that the way someone becomes wealthy is to own something that appreciates rapidly. What does that? Intellectual property. And so I think Chinese have realized, and certainly foreigners who are building things, so we have original equipment manufacturers here that make things for the world market, and so they're protecting their patent rights here because this is the workshop of the world.
We are in the early stage of industrialization, and we tend to be copycat in many ways. So what does that mean for the overseas investors here in the Chinese market? They have to